All right, thanks a lot, Jeff. And we will check in with our other man of the street, John Crinton, in just a little bit. But first, it's time to talk about an actual football. Well, before we get to the football game, we have one more piece of business to take care of, and that's how you can get free plays every day on a text message. I've got mine. All you need to do is text Kokin, C-O-K-I-N, to 313131, and just like that, you get back a free play via text message. And Jim, they can do the same and get your free play each day as well.
Absolutely, Dave. They can text WINNER, W-I-N-N-E-R, to 313131, and we will send you free play right to your cell phone each and every day.
All right, we got a couple of good games to look at. The Broncos taking on the Chargers. San Diego back home after a tough defeat at Washington. Game they should have won. I mean, they're in position to win it at the end. They don't get the touchdown, ended up in overtime, and lost the game at that point. That's a tough beat if you're the Chargers. They've had a few of those this year, but the San Diego Chargers guys have been I think, a big surprise team. I think McCoy's been one of the shining lights as far as coaches goes. Rivers has had a terrific season, and I don't know that they're going to be a pushover for the Broncos in this game, but naturally Denver does deserve to be favored, considering how well they played, Mike. The Broncos just having a great season.
Yes, they are, Dave, and they're scoring a lot of points. You would think they've done very well against the total. I mean, it's 16-2 and 1 run over the total, 11-3 over the last 14 road games, and even in the 5 meetings with San Diego, the last 5, it's 4-1 to the over. But I'm leaning with San Diego here, plus the 7. They're 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 after a straight-up loss. They're 5-2-1 this year with the spread, where Denver's 4-4 ATS. So, they got Mike McCoy as the coach, and he was with Denver last year as a coordinator. San Diego's been in every game, Dave. I'm going to lean with San Diego with the 7 points for me.
I think the total here is worth looking at. We know what the Broncos offense does, and I don't think anybody's going to really slow down that attack. It's an incredible offense. Maybe when the weather gets cold or something like that, maybe it'll impact it in some way, but that's certainly not going to be a factor here with the game in San Diego. It figures to be good weather on Sunday. And so the Broncos are going to get their points. So are the Chargers. Phillip Rivers is having a great season, and he's going up against a defense you can score on the Broncos. I mean, Denver's got the great offense, but their defense is strictly average and can be handled. So, the total of the game's high. You're not getting any bargain on this, to be sure. Looking at it, I think right now we've got a total of 58. But the odds makers...
Yeah, I'm looking at one place, Dave, where it's 58.5.
Yeah, the odds makers aren't making it easy.
It's going up.
But I just can't see how this isn't going to be a 60-point game. It just looks to me like they're going to go up and down the field and could be very entertaining. So it's not a good value play because the number is so high and there's no room for error. I mean, you get a couple of turnovers at the wrong part of the field where they've eaten up 4 minutes of clock and getting no points out of it. Your over's dead. But you can't really handicap turnovers, and I'm going to go on the premise that there won't be many, and I'll take the game over the total, Tim.
I agree with both of you. San Diego show up. I mean, this is a division home dog. This is a huge game. It's a huge game for both teams. Now, next week, Denver, if you look ahead a little bit, they do have to play Kansas City, who's the only undefeated team in football. Now, there's a lot of people that are not giving Kansas City that much credit, so I'm not really sure how they're looking at that. And the reason I'm saying that, Kansas City, for some reason, have drawn the lucky straw this year. They keep playing only backup quarterbacks. So their defense has looked a little bit better than it would have if they were playing premium quarterbacks each and every week. However, this game is a big game, road favorite, open 7. I see a lot of 7.5s. I also see a 6.5, but I only see a 6.5 in 2 spots that are critical. I think, Mike, you're right. The value in the game is to take the 7 or 7.5 in the game. And as far as the total is concerned, when the game opened 56.5, I did bet it over. But now we're looking at this game going 58, 58.5. I don't really see the public is going to be all over Denver, which they're betting, and the over. So the value players, the sharps, the guys that do this for a living are going to wait and buy this thing back. You may end up seeing 58.5 or 59, and I'm sure those guys are going to be putting some substantial money on the under. So I think the number is going to probably not end up finishing higher than it is right now. But the value, I thought, was getting it under 57. So that's why I went over 56.5. But right now, I don't think there's any value in it at all.
All right, let's go ahead and move to the matchup between. Actually, before we go to the game between the Panthers and 49ers, let's check in with John Cranton, who's also playing the man on the street role this weekend. And John has a free NFL pick, and he's going to tell you what Mr. Vegas has in store for this weekend as well. John, take it away.
Thanks, guys. This is John Cranton on the Vegas Strip. I got a free pick in the NFL coming up. At first, Mr. Vegas steps up with 3 monster football plays this weekend, all 3 for $19. His 2 college games of the month going Saturday, and his NFL Sunday night game of the year, all 3 for $19. That NFL play is $50 alone online. You can get all 3 at 1-866-896-1627. If you sign up early, you get a bonus TV winner from Mr. Vegas. Now, your free play on Sunday in the NFL, you got the Seattle Seahawks in Atlanta to play the Falcons. Now, the Falcons, they're a mess. They can't stop the run on defense, 20th against the run. They're also 19th defensively against the pass. On offense, they're dead last in rushing the football. That puts more pressure on quarterback Matt Ryan, who's struggling. 15 touchdowns, 10 picks. Falcons just 2-5 against the spread at home. And while they're 2-2 straight up at home, Seattle's 4-1 on the road with that great ground attack. 5th in the NFL in rushing, behind Marshawn Lynch and quarterback Russell Wilson. Also, remember, this is a revenge game as Seattle suffered a bitter last-second playoff defeat here in January. The Seahawks are 20-8 against the spread on field turf, and the last 9 road games, they're 7-2 against the spread. Your free play on Sunday, take the angry Seattle Seahawks. And remember, Mr. Vegas has 3 monster plays this weekend, all 3 for $19, 2 college games of the month Saturday, and his NFL Sunday night game of the year. 3 plays for $19, 1-866-896-1627.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Let's move to the game now between 2 really hot football teams. So these teams aren't just winning right now. They're winning and covering, and that's impressive. Carolina, 4-0 straight up and against the spread their last 4. 49ers, 5-0 straight up and against the spread their last 5. This is men versus men, and these 2 teams are going to bang each other on Sunday. I'll kind of take the lead in this game. I think this is going to be an old-fashioned slobber knocker. These teams are going to get out there and really get after each other. I think you're going to get conservative game plans on both sides. You get 2 explosive quarterbacks in Cam Newton and Colin Kaepernick, and they're both in good form. But I like the 2 defenses to be in control of this football game. The total, we just talked about a game, the total near 60. This one's old school all the way. The total's down in the low 40s, 42.5. And I think you're going to see a game where points are tough, very tough to come by. 17-14, 20-14, something like that. I think the 49ers are going to win the game, but I'm not convinced they're going to cover the spread. I think the better option here, Mike, is on the total. And I do think it's going to stay, it looks a little obvious, but I don't care. I think this game's an under, and that's the way I like it.
I agree with you, Dave. This is one of my plays on the site, so I won't say too much, but I agree with you. 42.5, 2 teams who like to run the ball, 2 strong defenses. 42.5 is a big number. I think when you get over 40, 41 with some of these defensive teams, you gotta look for the under. And it's a big game for Carolina. I mean, they have New Orleans twice down the road, but they're only a game behind them right now. So, and the Niners, they got to keep up with Seattle. So I think we're going to see a good battle, and maybe you'll see a 17-14 game, 20-17. I think you're right.
Something, Jim.
What do you think, Jim?
I was going to say, Jim, this does look like the type of game where I don't think either team's going to want to give it away either, which is another reason that I kind of went with the under.
This is a strange situation. You have an East Coast team traveling west. This is San Francisco's coming off a bye. They're very physical. After kind of a rough start, they've defined who they are. They've gone back to who they are. They're a running team with a little bit of passing mixed in there. Of course, they do get Crabtree back. That's a big addition, they get Manningham back as well. So they might be a little bit more explosive than you think, especially if their running game is clicking. The passing game can also click along with it. This is not a great spot, in my opinion, for Carolina. Even though the number looks good, they've been winning. They haven't been beating really great teams, however. And San Francisco's coming off a bye. They had time to rest, time to prepare for this game. East Coast to West Coast travel. This is a very bad spot for Carolina, even though they're playing well. I am not as convinced Carolina's the side in this game.
All right. Good stuff. By the way, the 49ers, you should mention, how good have they been at home? 18-7-1 against the spread in their last 26 home games. And going against what I like with the under, the over is 8-2 in the 49ers' last 10 home games, just to pass those stats along. Let's wrap it up with best bets from today's games, or any game you like. Mike, let's start with you.
My best bet, Dave's going to be San Diego plus the 7. That's my best play for this week. I like them at home, conference game, division game, getting points. Like I said, they're in every game. Yeah, I know that Denver's coming off a bye, but I think the Chargers and Rivers are going to be they're going to look to show something, and Mike McCoy would like nothing better than beat his old team. So, Denver, they're like the Patriots. The lines are always inflated, a point and a half, and I think you got to take advantage of it in this situation.
And let everybody know once again what you got going at JimFice.com.
I have my NFL 3-pack for Sunday for $30, and on Saturday for $25. You get my SEC Game of the Year. Just go to JimFice.com and look for Mike Scallion on there, and get yourself some winners.
I've got two big games, really big games in college. One on Saturday in college, one on Sunday in the NFL. These are both Game of the Year material, rivalry game in the colleges, so it's, obviously a national TV game that's going to have a lot of eyes, and you want to be on the right side of that one. Plus, Conference Game of the Year in the AFC on Sunday. Sign up early, you get a bonus football winner that goes tonight. So we'll have that bankroll built for you to maximize your profit potential on the weekend. All three plays for only $15 at 1-866-896-1629. Again, that's 1-866-896-1629. Also, we'll have a lot of college basketball up this weekend as well, as I expect to be ahead of the numbers to start the season. Best bet of the show, I understand that the totals have been going over in the 49er home games, and certainly they can go up and down the field on each other and make me look bad on this one, but I think you're going to get a real crunch job here. A battle in the trenches where both teams are going to be looking to establish their physical superiority. I think this is a men versus men type of game, and I like the under between the Panthers and the 49ers. Jim, huge weekend for you. I know you've done a ton of college basketball preseason work, and you're ready to fire.
Well, college basketball has always been something that's been very special to me over the years, and I am working feverishly on my estimation of these teams and what they're going to come out with, their game plans and styles and such. There's been a couple of officiating situations that you have to be on top of as well, which could change the dynamic of the sport. I love the word you used earlier, Dave, slobber knocker. I don't know where you got that. I love that. I got to figure out how to apply it to my game. I'm going to go along with Mike with San Diego. I think this is a great spot for San Diego. I think they were going to be keyed for the game. This is a big AFC West division game for them. I'm not so sure they won't win the game straight up. And I want to mention this. Mike and his brother Albert come from the same hometown I do back east, and many years ago we were back in the same neighborhood. Now we're out in Las Vegas, and his brother has a great restaurant that I think Mike should mention before we sign off. But my best bet's going to be San Diego. Your best bet is to call my number, 1-866-841-1655. You get everything. All college, all pro, all college and pro in the football as well. 1-866-841-1655. $20. You don't want to miss. This is the tip-off for the colleges. We're going to make a lot of money, and I want you to get started with me right away. Mike, why don't you tell them about Dom DeMarco's?
Dom DeMarcos. Thank you, Jim. It's located on West Charleston and Wallapai. It's best pizza in Las Vegas, great Italian cuisine. They've been there about almost 2 years now. My brother Albert's the manager there. They have fine food, as you can attest to. You've been there several times. And it's a pretty good spot up in the Summerlin area, and they're doing quite well at the moment, and thank you.
Secrets in the sauce.
Yeah, it's hard to get in the door. Every time I go there, there's a line getting in the door. It's great food.
You guys that are watching back east, you know what I'm talking about here. Good pizza is all about the sauce. Sauce is good there. So check it out. You'll like it.
It is.
All right, guys. That's Mike Sky and Jim Feist. I want to thank John Cranton, Jeff Side as well. I'm Dave Kogan. Don't forget to listen or check and watch, actually, on Proline TV, our college version of Proline. And lots of good stuff. And don't forget to check out the information that's available. It's exclusive information that you can't really find in other locations in terms of the way it's broken down as far as the LVH contest is going. It can really help you out as far as making some decisions on Sunday are concerned. So check that out at jimfeist.com. We'll talk to you guys next week. Adios.